Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving deep into the story of one of the most pivotal figures in Ottoman history, a ruler who transformed a regional power into a sprawling empire. We're talking about Murad I, also known as Murad Hudavendigar. Born around 1326, he was the son of Orhan Gazi, the second Ottoman leader. When Murad came to the throne in 1362, he inherited a growing state, but no one could have predicted the monumental changes he would bring. His reign is a masterclass in military strategy, state building, and sheer ambition. So if you're ready to explore the life of the Sultan who laid the true foundations of the Ottoman Empire, stick around. This is a story you won't want to miss. First, let's talk about expansion, because under Murad I, the Ottomans didn't just expand. They exploded onto the European stage, while his predecessors had secured a foothold in Anatolia and a small part of Europe. Murad set his sights firmly on the Balkans. His most significant early achievement was the conquest of Adrianople, or Edirne, as we know it today. Capturing this major Byzantine city wasn't just another victory, it was a game changer. In 1369, Murad made Edirne the new capital of the Ottoman state. This wasn't just a symbolic move, it shifted the empire's entire center of gravity from Asia to Europe, signaling to the world that the Ottomans were in the Balkans to stay. This strategic decision secured their dominance in southeastern Europe and became the launching pad for all future campaigns into the continent. But Murad I wasn't just a conqueror, he was a brilliant state builder. He understood that to control a vast and diverse territory, you needed more than just an army. You needed institutions. This is where his genius for administration really shines. One of his most famous and long-lasting reforms was the establishment of the Janissary Corps, the Janissaries. This was revolutionary. While most European powers relied on feudal levies, Murad created one of the first modern standing armies in Europe. These were professional, full-time soldiers, fiercely loyal only to the Sultan. The Janissaries were trained from a young age to be an elite fighting force, and they would become the backbone of the Ottoman military for centuries. Alongside military reforms, Murad strengthened the government's central authority. He expanded the timar system, a sophisticated method of land distribution. Here is how it worked. Distinguished soldiers were granted the right to collect revenue from a piece of land, a timar. In exchange, they were responsible for raising and equipping a certain number of cavalry troops for the Sultan's army. This system was brilliant for a few reasons. It ensured a constant supply of provincial cavalry without draining the central treasury, and it helped maintain order and administration in the newly conquered territories. By integrating local elites into this system, Murad ensured their loyalty and the long-term stability of his growing empire. He was building a state that could last. With a new capital in Europe and a reformed army, Murad launched a series of campaigns that shattered the old powers of the Balkans. The region was a patchwork of competing Serbian, Bulgarian, and Byzantine states, and they soon found they were no match for the organized Ottoman war machine. A pivotal moment came in 1371 at the Battle of Maritsa. An allied Balkan army, led by Serbian princes, marched to push the Ottomans out of Europe. Instead, they were decisively crushed by Murad's forces. This victory was catastrophic for the Balkan powers. It broke the back of Serbian resistance and opened the floodgates for further Ottoman advances. Following the Battle of Maritsa, many Balkan rulers had little choice but to submit to Ottoman authority. States like Bulgaria and the remaining Serbian principalities became vassals of the Sultan. This meant they had to pay an annual tribute and provide troops for the Ottoman army. But they were often allowed to retain a degree of internal autonomy. Murad's approach was pragmatic. He understood that direct rule over everything was impractical. By creating a network of vassal states, he extended his influence without overstretching his resources, a strategy that would define Ottoman expansion for generations. It was a blend of direct conquest and shrewd diplomacy that kept the empire growing. So what was Murad like as a person and a ruler? His title, Hudavendigar, offers a clue. It means God-given ruler, or the devotee of God, and it reflects his deep piety and sense of divine mission. But he balanced his religious devotion with a strong sense of justice and pragmatism. In the lands he conquered, he generally pursued a policy of tolerance towards his Christian subjects. As long as they paid their taxes and remained loyal, they were allowed to practice their religion freely. This policy was crucial for maintaining stability in the diverse and multi-ethnic Balkans. It won him a degree of loyalty from his non-Muslim subjects and prevented widespread rebellion, allowing him to focus on further conquests. He was seen as a tough but fair ruler. The climax of Murad's reign and his life came in 1389 at the legendary Battle of Kosovo. This was the ultimate showdown. A massive coalition army of Serbs, Bosnians, Albanians, and other Balkan peoples, led by the Serbian Prince Lazar, gathered on the Field of Blackbirds to make one last desperate stand against the Ottoman advance. The battle that followed was immense, brutal, and shrouded in legend. Both sides fought with incredible ferocity, and the outcome hung in the balance for hours. In the end, the Ottoman army emerged victorious, securing their dominance over the region for good. But the victory came at a staggering price. In a dramatic and unprecedented event, Sultan Murad I was killed on the battlefield. The exact circumstances of his death are debated by historians and have become part of the mythology of the battle. Some accounts say he was killed by a Serbian knight who feigned surrender to get close to the Sultan. Others suggest he was killed during the chaotic fighting after the main clash was over. Regardless of how it happened, Murad I holds the unique and tragic distinction of being the only Ottoman Sultan to die in active combat. His death on the field of his greatest victory elevated him to the status of a martyr and a heroic icon in Ottoman history. His tomb, located near the Kosovo battlefield, remains a site of pilgrimage to this day. The legacy of Murad I is immense. He was succeeded by his son, Bayezid I, who would earn the nickname the Thunderbolt for the incredible speed of his own conquests. But it was Murad who had laid all the groundwork. He had transformed the Ottoman state from a principality into a true empire. He established the institutions like the Janissaries and the Timar system that would sustain the empire for centuries. He conquered the strategic heart of the Balkans and made Europe the new focus of Ottoman power. Murad I was far more than just a warrior sultan. He was a visionary state builder whose 30-year reign was one of the most formative periods in Ottoman history. His conquests and reforms were the solid foundation upon which his successors, including the famous Mehmed the Conqueror, would build one of the world's greatest and most enduring empires. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the life of Murad I. He's a ruler who truly deserves to be better known. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what you think about Murad's reign or who you'd like to see covered next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.